Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our preview for the Blacklist Season 9, Episode 7. Happy New Year, and with that, of course, means the Blacklist is coming back this month, January. New episodes.
So excited after that last episode. I mean, we've been talking about it and talking about it over here because it was just, they brought back some sort of those elements that we love about what was going on with Liz. Did she read the letter? What's going on with Dembe? I mean, there's all these like amazing fun elements that have been going on for the past 8 seasons, and now it's coming back this Thursday with a Wrestler episode.
We're gonna talk a little bit about this because everybody, all the wrestler fans are out there partying, and all the other fans are like, wait,
No,
what?
you know
What?
what it reminds me of? For all you Walking Dead
Oh, I knew
fans,
we were going here.
you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about with that big, like, Glenn cliffhanger where all the walkers were all over him and he was under the dumpster, but we didn't know it. Spoilers for if you haven't seen it for 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh man, I cannot wait for this next episode. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to see what happens. And then it's like a Morgan episode. And it was one of the best episodes of the show ever, but it didn't matter because I wanted to know what happened to Glenn. Here we are again, folks.
Poor wrestler. He's gonna get undue hate for this very
I
reason.
know, and it's really unfair because, like I said, that Morgan episode is one of the best episodes of Walking Dead that they've ever done, but they backed it up on such a big sort of cliffhanger, and here we are on Blacklist.
All right, well, we will get into this wrestler episode. I mean, it does seem like maybe a lot of this Dembe stuff will be episode 8 or whatever. But before we go further, subscribe to the channel. We will be here after episode 7 airs, breaking down the big wrestler episode. And maybe, who knows, maybe we're surprised. Maybe there's other stuff in there as well. But just hit that subscribe button.
All right, so as we said, this is going to be a big spotlight for a wrestler. So, I think it's important that we have that because I mean he wasn't even in the last episode.
Yeah.
So, and there's been a lot that's been going on with him. He's been struggling with addiction again, and we haven't really gotten to see how he dealt with everything with Liz's death.
I think the most interesting thing to start off here is just the title. Like, I really like the title for this episode. It's not a Blacklister title. It is Between Sleep and Awake. And if we're gonna just try to like extrapolate on this a little bit, it kind of feels to me like, okay, well, maybe you're sleepwalking. Maybe you're in some like zombified state where you're neither at peace and you're neither really fully alert. And maybe this is meant to sort of symbolize where Ressler has been these past couple of years, losing this person he loves, losing this job at the FBI, and growing the beard. Like, maybe this is sort of some sort of emotional tie-in to him.
And it for sure is. I mean, that state between sleep and awake can be in a lot of ways depression and grief, and dealing with that heavy grief where it feels like you're never really sleeping, but you're never really awake. And that can definitely happen when you lose someone you love.
So according to the synopsis for this episode, we're going to see a lot of Ressler's story play out in flashback. So we're actually going to get a chance to see, okay, maybe this is Ressler a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And this is really the first time that we're getting this with any of the substantial characters on the show. I mean, to bring it back to Reddington, I know we all want to see that what happened with Reddington and Dembe episode a year and a half ago that they haven't given us yet.
Yep. I feel like it's coming. It's coming. We'll get there. We got to be patient, but it is going to be nice to see some of what the after effects of losing Liz actually are. I mean, when I first heard there was going to be a 2-year time jump, I was really crushed by it. I was just like, man, there's so much, meat on that bone to see what it was going to be like right after that. How was Reddington going to deal with that? How's Ressler going to deal with that? The team, like, it affected so much. To jump so far into the future, I was just kind of like, oh, I feel a little bit robbed here. So to have this episode where we get to see it from Ressler's perspective and a little bit some of that, I'm looking forward to this episode quite a bit.
I think one of the biggest things I'm curious about is handling grief, but handling grief in the very specific set of circumstances Ressler sort of found himself in. Like, there's a photo out there already of him in front of Liz's grave, and he doesn't have the beard at that point, so I'm guessing maybe this was right after Liz's death, but I can't imagine what he's feeling in that he waited for so long in a lot of ways to, I think, really understand how he felt about Liz. And he just finally gets to that point in season 8 where, they're together briefly. Yes, she ends up bolting off on him, but, he loved her. And then the moment he realizes it, she's dead. There's no relationship. There's no chance for anything. That is just brutal.
Yeah, it is. And, maybe that is what started him sort of relying back on his addiction again. It's possible it's not, but it's probable it is.
Yeah, we're still seeing that actively playing out in the present. So however he gets started on it, it's something that he hasn't been able to get a handle on. And it's not really clear how much contact he had with a lot of other people over these past couple of years. What was his support system? Maybe we can meet some new people along the way. But if we do, I have a hard time thinking that they were like his best friends during all of this.
No, it feels a lot like Ressler was really just on his own, and that, he didn't deal with it very well at all.
One thing I really want to know is, why did he go so far away from the task force? And this is something they haven't made that clear, in that we know that Panna Baker did her thing and she done went and shut down the task force and all that. But we don't know, was she like, all right, Ressler, I want you to go do this. Cooper, I want you to go do, all the particulars here aren't super clear. I could understand if she was like, Ressler, you are the most compromised human in the history of ever. I can never put you on a case again.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's possible that he benched himself, that he was just like, you know what? I was so personally involved in everything that was going on that I was compromising my job. I was compromising my own sort of morals and principles and things that I would never have done 8 years ago. I don't feel like this is the job for me anymore.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most likely thing that happened. I think he probably was sort of like, I can't do this anymore. I need to start over. I need to find something else for myself. And I'm not honestly sure that he ever really did, because when we saw him at the start of this season, he just didn't have any passion in him.
No, he didn't. And again, that's where this title comes in, right? Between Sleep and Awake, where you're sort of like, every day is just kind of a circle to get through it, and that's it. And that's part of dealing with grief.
I think the other big question is, what is he really fighting for at this point? Because we know Ressler cares a lot about justice. He was in the FBI. He obviously had to take some pride in what he was doing, but Reddington was a big part of his life. He was really spent so much time trying to track him down, and now Reddington is kind of this pseudo friend. I don't think they're ever gonna be going out the drinks together or anything, but he's not out there trying to chase down Reddington anymore. He's not out there working with Liz. What is there to actually focus on?
Yeah, Ressler really needs some sort of self-purpose, whether it's trying to get better, having a focus, using his job to try to help focus him. We saw the NCIS people here. We saw Gibbs doing that with his job for a really long time. He really needs something that's for him, which has been kind of one of the issues with the Ressler character in the writing for a while, is he needs something that's for him and what his feeling and purpose is.
This is where I'm going to throw a suggestion out there. Blacklist writers, you're welcome. Okay, we need a Ressler big bad. We need somebody who Ressler specifically is going after, because we have a great mystery with Cooper now and everything that's going on there. Who is after him? Cooper's kind of got his own quote unquote big bad in a way right now. And I hope this isn't the case forever, but Dembe is sort of Reddington's big bad because he was just betrayed by him.
Ressler is Ressler's own big bad. He really is just getting out in front of himself. And that's going to be, I think, a central struggle for him this season, is can he get out of his own way to be able to sort of, gain some stability, get healthy again, feel good about himself again, get past a lot of this grief.
while I may not be happy about the placement of this episode for all of the reasons you specified, I am glad we're getting it fairly early on so that we don't have to sit around here and wonder about Ressler for the next, several weeks or months on end. We can just get the answers and try to apply that to whatever his future may be.
Walking Dead has taught me to take each episode as it comes, and having like a big sort of cliffhanger of everything that was going on with Dembe and whether or not Liz got the letter and all that sort of stuff. Yes, I want answers, but there are still so many episodes left of this season. I will get those answers. I feel confident, even though the show has done me dirty. I feel like we'll get some of those answers. We may not get everything, but we'll get something.
We need some. Give us something, Blacklist writers. I know it's after Christmas, but we're still on the nice list. Put some good answers in our stockings. Okay, all right. Well, what do you guys want on this Ressler episode? Do you think Ressler's his own big bad? Do you want to see another adversary enter the fray? Give us everything in the comments and subscribe for more updates. Also, check out all of our Cobra Kai coverage.
Yes. And happy 2022, everyone. Everything best to everyone.
All right, we will see you guys here next time.